The police integrity movement has rejected claims made by popular influencer VeryDarkMan regarding the Ajiran murder case, describing them as misleading and unsupported by credible evidence. In a statement, the group dismissed allegations that Assistant Inspector General of Police Jimoh deliberately framed the murder case on Ahmed involving the late sheriff and Prince Ademola. It said documents presented during the interview remain disputed and should not be treated as conclusive evidence without proper verification. The group also maintained that the Inspector General of Police has commended AIG Jimoh's handling of the investigation and clarified that police invitations extended to VDM were done without its knowledge, part of any investigation into the senior police officer. The statement called on the public to allow the courts and law enforcement authorities to determine the case based on verified evidence, due process, and the rule of law.
There's a reason why I said I was not going to honor the invitation in Lagos, and it is simply because I think the invitation is malicious. Now, make it make sense that I am calling you out that you have compromised the case by pinning murder on an innocent man, and the next thing I'm getting invites from Lagos. Meanwhile, I live in Abuja, and in Abuja where I live is the headquarters of MPF NCCC that is headed by an AIG, and you're calling me to Lagos to come and answer a question where I can answer here in Abuja. The headquarters of police is here in Abuja, so I think it's just malicious, and then they are looking for a way to trap me or maybe take my phone and maybe delete evidence or whatever thing that they plan to do. So whatever thing they want to do, they should do it here. Also, see, I would like to just throw light on this matter real quick, right? Now, it's about two persons, right? The first person's name is Sheriff Salami. He was killed in 2023, around April 2023. Now, this guy, Sheriff Salami, attended the burial at Mobi Road around the island. As he was coming out, some persons shot him.
Well, joining us now to exercise the right of reply to what VeryDarkMan said during that interview is the convener of Police Integrity Movement, Isaiah Davis Ijele. Welcome to Newsday.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me once again.
And now, during the course of that interview, we saw VeryDarkMan, as he's popularly known, making reference to a report that was issued by Bansi and basically regarding the deaths of two individuals, one Sheriff Salami and also Ademola Akinloye. What exactly are the issues that sparked your attention during that interview?
Thank you very much once again for having me. I just want to put it very straight out there that VeryDarkMan lied to the public, and it is imperative that we set the record straight on an issue that is ongoing before a competent court of jurisdiction. At least the rule of law should be respected. And, let me take you back to this murder case.
Mr. Ijele,
in 2020.
Just because of the sake of time, you said he lied to the public. Please be specific on what the lies were.
Yeah. Okay, let me be specific. Now, the lies is this. Number one, this case, the murder of these two people happened in 2023 and 2024 respectively. The same party that he is talking about sat on that investigation for almost 3 years until the family, the old man of 85 and his family gathered together through Rotimi Chamber, wrote a petition to Inspector General of Police January 7th, alleging specifically with the name of Fabu, Bariga, Ahmed, and mentioned as the prime suspect of the murder of their children. Now, don't forget, for over 3 years, this case has been sitting there without any action. No single arrests were made until Jimoh stepped in January 8th, that Jimoh was given a letter, issued a directive by then IG to take over the case and investigate and bring back report. Now, AIG, within 2 weeks of that order, people were arrested. First, Fabu was arrested on the 23rd of January 2026. After 3 years, don't forget. At the same time, Bariga was arrested on the 6th of February 2026 on the order of the IG through the then CP Jimoh. Don't forget, the same party could not do anything on this case. Now, according to the petition before Jimoh, Sheriff was mentioned, Ademola was mentioned. So now the investigation is not just about Prince Ademola, it is about Sheriff and Ademola. And these same people confessed to that killing, to that murder. They said they did it on video. Now, this is before me. I am showing you this is the DPP advice on that case. If you look at the press statement issued by the Force Headquarters 2 days ago, in fact, they specifically, the case is before the court, and they will not interfere in the case and let the court proceed for the trial. And now, listen to this. When Ahmed who was mentioned in the case, try as much as possible to reach out to Jimoh through his family, through friends, through former retired AIG, through some police men. Go and find out. I am not saying Ahmed is guilty. That is left to court to prove. I am not saying that we are here to judge the case, but we are, as integrity movement, that we are to tell the people, we are bridging between police and the citizens, that look, this one, police were right. This one, they were not right. And on this case, Jimoh acted according to instruction. Now listen to this again. According to this report of DPP, that the case should be, they should prosecute Ahmed, prosecute Fabu, and all the those at large. It is not an instruction of Jimoh for them to prosecute every member involved. The job of the police is to arrest according to the petition. Now, the report, let me clear you something. The report that VeryDarkMan was showing on your station yesterday, let me tell you about that report. That report was now the report that was just issued in the month of May, after how many years of the same party sitting on the case without result. It is now they are now issuing a statement. Don't forget, before that time again, the family have been protested to the same party, to the office of the CP, to the governor office, demanding for justice for their children. Nothing was done. 2 CP before Jimoh, and he could not unveil the mystery or arrest any of the people. I will give you an assignment to find out who was stopping and who was behind that the arrest was not made.
Yes. Mr. Ijele, yes, you've mentioned that there's video evidence of them admitting to the murders and the likes, but we understand, at least the allegation that's being made, is that they were coerced into making those admissions, and that even if you're discrediting the Banti report, that one suspect was tortured to death. So if they're being tortured and being forced to admit that they committed these crimes, what other evidence besides the video evidence do you have? Because investigation is also the responsibility of police besides making arrests.
Okay, let me tell you. The video were doctored. There are 2 videos. Let me tell you this. The original investigation report of the arrest and the confession made by Fabu and Bariga is the investigation done by the first IPO, SP Ademu Banti. Note that name, SP Ademu Banti. Check the report VDM is talking about. Who was the investigator and who arrested the duo as at the time it was arrested. VeryDarkMan lied when he said that Bariga was
besides
arrested on
video.
the 6th.
Evidence. We're asking for what other evidence to support the claim. Whatever versions of videos you have, which other evidence is there on ground? Facts.
See, I am not to present such core evidence before the public. It is before the court. allow the court. That is why the police say, allow the court to do their due process and come out with the judgment. I am not here to judge. See, issue of murder is not a commercial case. It's not a land dispute. It's not a tenancy matter. We are talking about a sensitive issue that lives of people, husband and father were involved, and is before the court. Why not allow the court to proceed? Now, let me shock you about those reports and about those videos. The same people, the same group of police went before the court to demand that they want to remove Fabu and Bariga for second investigation, and the police and the court turned it down. In fact, we went before the court to release Ahmed, and the court gave a judgment on the case that Ahmed should go before the trial court. Why Ahmed is not going before the trial court? That is the question. So it is not the issue about Jimoh this time, about anybody. It's now before the court. And the court is saying that if you say you are innocent, come before us, bring your evidence. Okay. Look here, we are not in a banana republic. Okay. Now, let me also shock you again. VeryDarkMan said yesterday that he was invited because of to be judged by. No, the case before against VeryDarkMan in a cyber crime center has nothing to do with Jimoh. He publicly alleged some people to have been behind the murder, and that they ran away and they are on the run. And the people went and presented themselves to the police and said, "This man said we are on the run. We are not on the run. We are here." They are also not based in Abuja. Don't forget, when he and Bilo were having cases, he told the police to go after Bilo in Anambra, and they brought Bilo to Abuja.
Yes,
that is
Isaiah.
because he, VeryDarkMan, was.
So to that point. No, to that point about this invitation, because I think something that stood out to a lot of people was the fact that VeryDarkMan thinks the invitation might have been malicious. I mean, what's your response to that? That's a very strong word to use regarding the police. Was the invitation malicious in any way?
See, listen to this. I know the public have their reservation about Nigeria police, but to some large extent, they are still doing very well. The current IGP has initiated also so many programs that they are doing very well, and I'm sure he will not sit down to watch the name of his institution be dragged to the mud in this manner. I said it earlier. The petition was not a malicious invitation. Was not a malicious invitation. The crime center in Lagos are responsible directly to the one in Abuja. They are not answerable to Jimoh. They are directly under the IG, under the first headquarters. That is number one. Number two, it has nothing to do with Jimoh. These are citizens that he maliciously accused them on his page on Facebook and on media, and they wrote a petition. It is they first deserve the right to invite him and say, come and bring the evidence of what you are saying. It is not a crime. Now, you say you cannot go, and you want, you see, look, listen to this. If you are advocating for the rule of law and justice, then you yourself must be the keeper of that law. You cannot, law is not sentimental. And in fact, we must be very careful so that people, these are the problems we are having with our politicians, inability to hold them accountable for their action and inaction. And when we see celebrities or influencers coming up with the same manner that they are above the law, there is problem. We must trace it on time and to stop it right there. The issue is very simple. If you look at the invitation by IG regarding the issue of Jimoh, he was invited to FCID. You saw it, that invitation had been extended to him and he should honor it. Do they mention anything that have to do with the crime center or whatever former invitation by? No. That to tell you that there are separate invitation, extended to VeryDarkMan, and he has to honor it. If he refuses to honor it, the police can do the needful. That is number one. Now, let me also shock you.
I can't be shocked anymore because we've run out of time. But thank you for you've exercised your right of reply regarding this matter, Mr. Isaiah Ijele, convener of the Police Integrity Movement. Many thanks for joining us on Newsday.